Well, guys, it's that time of the year again. It's officially our last podcast for the year of 2021. And it's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. But before we get started and stuff, hi, welcome to the CharmingAnalysis Podcast. I'm Mari, and Jay is in the other room at the moment. He's coming back. But, so today we're going to be doing our end of the year podcast. So this is our second year doing the podcast, for those who don't know. And it's been a little bit since we've done our last end of the year podcast. So basically we'll just be going over a brief summary of the year in a sense. And then we'll be explaining updates for the channel for next year. And we'll be explaining some stuff that we plan on doing next year for the channel. I'm mainly going to be talking for most of it, but Jay's next to me. He's going to be putting a little bit of commentary in this one. Say hi, honey, when you're not chewing. He's eating cookies. Say hi, honey. Jay. Say hi. Come on, say hi. That's not a hi.
Hi.
Thank you. Anyway, he's going to be doing a little bit of commentary for this, but it's mainly going to be me talking. So first thing, 2021. This year's been a mix of a good year mixed with a shit show, if I'm being completely honest with you. So, when it comes to, like, our lives outside of here, it's kind of been a little bit of a struggle, not going to lie. Like, me and Jay are all good. It's just personal life stuff that's been kind of, but it basically consisted of me dealing with us mainly dealing with money issues and a couple other things here and there, right, honey? Right?
You're the one talking.
But it's mainly just been money issues that we've been dealing with, which I'm not really going to go into because it's not really a public thing to talk about. So, but yeah, we mainly been dealing with money issues. That was mainly the main thing that happened this year. COVID's still a fucking thing. I still can't believe it's been literally this year upcoming is going to be 2 years COVID's been around, which I think is fucking crazy. But yeah, other than that, like in our personal lives, it hasn't really been that crazy. It's mainly just been, like, money issues, really. And that's all we're really going to personally talk about when it comes to our personal lives. But let's talk about the podcast for this year. I think we did pretty good for the podcast this year. Like, we're starting to get a little bit of our footing down when it comes to that. We mainly did movies and stuff this year with a couple series a little bit here and there. Not really too much. We've done all kinds of movies, and what was your favorite movie we did this year, honey? Can you think of one that was your favorite?
Like that came out this year?
Well, that came out this year and one we did a podcast on this year. So what was your favorite movie that came out this year first and one that we actually did a podcast on? Well,
there was a lot of good stuff that came up this year. Mostly TV shows. Movies.
well, it can be a TV show if you want to. You can pick a TV show or a movie, either one.
No, fuck it. Then I'm choosing Arcane.
So Arcane's probably your favorite? Mm-hmm. What about Monkey Kid? You were obsessing over that for like...
I liked Monkey Kid a lot. It's a lot of things good that came out this year. I'm not saying like, you know.
Yeah. And like a little bit, like a couple days ago, I actually started to watch Arcane a little bit. But personally, I like it, but it's not really my thing. I literally... The third episode is way too heavy for me. But will I watch more of it? We'll see. But I know Jay really liked it. But I saw little tidbits of it with him while he was watching it. So I have seen a majority of it.
You've seen a little bit of it.
and it's fucking insane. But I will admit though, it's really good animation. Like, I love the animation style of Arcane. It's fucking beautiful. Like, holy shit. But anyway, that was your favorite of this year TV show-wise?
Well,
mine's probably Monkey Kid, actually. Like, that was probably the most excited I've been through a TV show, like, in a long time. Like, it's one of those ones where I feel like I would hyperfixate on it. Like, not as much as, like, other ones, but it was kind of close for me when it comes to, like, stuff. But I really liked Monkey Kid. That's probably my favorite of this year. And it's also one of my favorites we did a podcast on. What about you? Mm-hmm. Was that your favorite you did a podcast on? Mm-hmm. Okay. We already did a podcast on Monkey Kid, so if you do want to go check that out, it is on our channel if you want to go check it out. We were highly recommended. It's really good. So I guess, what's one of the things about our podcast you liked doing this year? Like, that you enjoyed doing about the podcast? Like, was there a certain thing you liked about it, like, doing it the way we did? Do you feel like, we did good, like, on our formatting and stuff like that?
We were mostly the same. We just do this podcast just to shit post.
And to do it for fun, but still, do you feel like we did a lot better than the first time we did it? Because I feel like we're getting a little bit better with, like, some things. Not like how we talk, but more like how we, I feel like our editing is a lot better this year than last year. What do you think?
I didn't do much editing on this year.
We did a little bit.
It's the same thing.
But, when we edit the videos and stuff. But I will say this, though. My thumbnails for this year were kind of lacking, like, halfway through. I think it's because, like...
You're tired as shit.
This year I've been really tired over, like, a lot of things. And unfortunately, thumbnails were the result of that. And that is something I am going to work on next year when we do more podcasts and stuff. I'm definitely working on how I do thumbnails because I did some good ones and I did some ones that honestly kind of sucked. And I feel like I could have done a whole lot better with it. But you live and you learn, and it's something I am going to, work on kind of thing because, man, some of these thumbnails were so hard to fucking do. And I needed, like, the motivation to do it, and it was kind of hard to get some of it. But everybody has those moments. Okay, so what was your favorite thumbnail for this year? Do you have a favorite or not really?
I don't... It's weird. I don't really pay attention to your thumbnail.
Like, half of them, like, I did, and then the other half we just got, like, stock images. Or, like, still images for certain things. So that was one of the things that I feel like I could work on a bit. But there were just some I didn't have the motivation to do. Like, example, Spiderwick Chronicles. That was a thumbnail that I was like, I'm not going to be able to attempt this. We're just going to put an image here. Which is something I feel like I need to kind of branch out from a little bit. But anyway, so another thing I want to mention about the podcast is that this year we mainly centered on movies. We did do a couple TV shows here and there. It was mainly movies, though, like a bunch of different ones. But along with, like, the movies and stuff, we also did our Halloween Spectacular again, which I had a lot of fun doing. Do you feel like our Halloween Spectacular was good this year, or was the first year we did it, like, the better one? What's your opinion on it?
Well, I think it's gonna... I don't know. I'm like blanking, like, out of my mind right now. You could give your opinion on it, to be honest.
Okay. Well, mainly this year, I thought we did a good job on it. Like, I feel like we could have done a little bit more with it. Like, I feel like we could have done more. Because a lot of the ones this year, I'll be honest, a lot of the ones we watched this year, even though they were good, a lot of them sucked. A lot of the movies we picked sucked this year. Like, content-wise, I like the movies we did last year. But this year, I liked how I did the thumbnail for it. Compared to last year. Kind of thing. But yeah, we did that. We also did the Christmas Palooza. I feel like it's kind of, like, even when it comes to, like, doing this one from this year and last year's. Like, they're both kind of but it's something we're working on. But they haven't had a lot of Christmas movies come out. compared to Halloween, so it's not as much content as like, other years. So that's something I do plan on like helping us. That's something I do plan on working on next year when we do the Christmas Palooza, which is trying to find more variety of like Christmas stuff. And maybe if you guys are interested, would anyone be interested in other holiday specials like Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, stuff like that, even though we don't really know much about the holidays? Because I think that'd be an interesting thing to do. What do you think? I think it'd be interesting to like attempt to do. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know, because I wouldn't mind learning about it. It'll give us a little bit more insight about how stuff works in other cultures. So I think that'd be interesting. But yeah, pretty much this year was kind of like, it was kind of all over the place and just stressful one moment, fine the next moment. But it wasn't no 2020, thank goodness, but I feel like it's not as bad as last year, but it's cutting it close a little bit. What do you think? Do you feel like this year is better than last year or not really?
No.
It's about the same? Mm-hmm. Okay. So yeah, that's basically the gist of our year. However, the next part of the podcast for the end of the year podcast, we're going to be talking about basically updates to the channel. So, and I have a lot of ideas for stuff we're going to do next year for the channel. So first thing I'm going to mention regarding updates, I'm going to be updating our fucking banner because I literally have used the same banner, just different versions of it this year. And I think I might, depending on how stuff goes with that, I also might update the icon for our channel because I really want to update it, but it's going to depend on how motivated I am to do it. It'll just be like a remade version of the current one we have. But I'm definitely working on the banner, though. First thing first is the banner, because I want to make it a little bit more artsy-fartsy kind of thing. You know what I mean, honey? I want to work on that. That's the first thing I'm going to be updating. Not at the beginning of the year. I'm waiting till summertime of this year to do that, because I do it based on season. So, and once I get through the spring one that I currently have, I will be working on more for the upcoming year. Mainly, like, you'll probably see that around the summertime. So I will make an update about it once it gets closer to that point. But for now, it's mainly going to be probably around like summertime I'll be doing that. But for now, it's going to be still the old banner until about probably June. Second thing I'm going to mention, and this is a major update regarding our channel. Since this year we focused on movies, next year we're going to be focusing more on TV shows compared to movies, because we barely covered any TV shows this year. I think we've only covered like 4. How many can you think of? Because I think we've covered at least 4. Like, we covered Owl House season 1 when it came out. We're still waiting on the other half of season 2. That's still coming. It's just we got to wait for the other half. But Owl House season 1, Monkey Kid, Hilda season 2. And I think there was one other one, but I can't remember. But we only did like 4 TV shows about 4 TV shows. So that's something that I really want to focus on next year. Because even though I like doing the movies, I want to also, do some podcasts about TV shows, like where you could do like multiple parts to them. Like when we first did it in the first year, when we did it with our BoJack podcast, that was like a couple episodes, but we did it based on seasons. So that's something I really want us to focus on next year when it comes to the podcast. Are you okay with that, honey? Mm-hmm. Because there's a lot of TV shows that I honestly missed out on that I really wanted to see with Jay, but we never really got to it. Because I will admit this, though. TV shows do take a little bit longer to do, but I feel like it's a lot better of an outcome than just a single movie. So that's something I do plan on doing next year with Jay. Like, the podcast is definitely going to be more TV show based. We're still going to be doing movies here and there. It's just we're mainly going to focus on TV shows. So I guess next thing I want to update you guys about would be, I'm trying to remember because I had all this organized in my head. But I do know a couple series we do plan on doing. It's really a sneak peek kind of thing, but not really, like, we're not going to put any videos of it in here. But we do plan on, I know the first one we're going to do is Amphibia, because this is a series that, it came out the same time as Owl House, but I have been wanting to watch it for the last, 3 months, but we kept pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off, so next year, first one we're doing is Amphibia. How does that sound, honey?
Okay.
Because I really want to watch Amphibia with you, because I've been seeing so much shit for it, and I really want to watch it just to see what all the hype is about. So that's the first one we're definitely going to be doing. If you also want to, do you want to also do Arcane next year, since you kind of already saw it, or do you want to just do a separate video on your channel?
I have no idea what I'm going to do with Arcane.
But I wouldn't mind talking about it as a podcast if you want to, but I would probably watch clips of it here and there. I'm probably not going to watch the whole thing, because most of the episodes are almost an hour, which is fucking ridiculous.
How's that ridiculous?
I feel like that's long for an episode, but maybe that's just me. So yeah, Amphibia is going to be the first one we do, but it's not going to be the first podcast we post, though. We actually did record something for Smallfoot, a while ago, and that's going to be our first video for next year. That Smallfoot video that we did, we recorded a video podcast about Smallfoot, so that's going to be coming out first, and then we'll be posting about Amphibia. But the plan is, we're just going to be doing series based on seasons at a time. We're not going to do it all in one video, unless it's a short enough series to do it in one video. But most of the time, we're more likely probably going to be doing, each podcast episode is based on a season of something. So it'll be multiple parts. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Is that something you're okay with, honey?
Sure. Because
I think it'd be a good idea. Compared to doing it, unless it's 2 seasons, then I can do it in then we can do it in one video. But if it's more than a certain amount of episodes, example, I'll give Amphibia as an example. It's got 20 episodes per season. So we're mainly going to, for a show like that, we're going to split it up into parts. So that way we have something to kind of work with. So that way we do a season of it, do something else, and then eventually come back to it. So that way, once we come back to it, we have more of a sense of what's going on. So that way we can have a fresher opinion, in my opinion. So that's basically how we're going to do some podcasts next year. We're going to be doing different seasons, but the first stuff you're going to be seeing on the channel is the Smallfoot podcast we recorded a while ago. That's going to come out first, and then we're going to start season 1 of Amphibia. And then we'll basically be going from there. But a couple series we have that I would like to watch with Jay that I have mentally in my head, besides Amphibia, would be Molly, The Adventures, I think it would be The Ghost of Molly McGee. That's one I really want to see with you. What was the other one? There's a couple other ones. I would also like to do a podcast on Agretsuko with you if you want. Would that be something you'd be interested in, honey?
Sure.
Because me and Jay have been watching Agretsuko since it came out, so we would basically be doing it on, probably the first couple seasons. Probably not the current season until more episodes come out, till more stuff comes out, but we'll get back to you guys on that. But that's another one I would like to do a podcast on, because me and Jay have watched, the entire thing. So we have been doing it. And another one I would like to watch would be Beastar Season 2, because we only saw Season 1, a while ago, but we never got to watch Season 2. And I also, besides, TV shows, we're also going to try and see if we can get some anime mixed in there to add a little bit more variety. So if you guys have any anime recommendations, comment below, and you might see that in the podcast, depending on what kind of content it is. Because I'm trying to get Jay into some more anime besides Agretsuko and Promised Neverland, because we already know how the second season of Promised Neverland went. So, yeah, we're going to pick some that aren't that. Okay, so I have one more update, and then we'll be closing out of the podcast. Is that okay, honey? So the last kind of major update I'm going to be mentioning is we are thinking of another month-long idea to do for a podcast, and it's something I've been thinking about, because there's a lot of shows me and Jay have never watched from our childhoods. Example, he hasn't seen a lot of the Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon shows I grew up with, And I didn't see as many of the shows he grew up with. So we're thinking about doing a thing in November called Nostalgia November, which is where we basically watch a couple different movies, TV shows throughout the entire month of November. It would basically be at the end of the year, Halloween Spectacular, Nostalgic November. We're going to attempt it to see if we can handle it. And if we can't, we'll just do it like every other year. But I would like to attempt doing a Nostalgic November. So that way we have some content in between Halloween and Christmas. And I don't want it to be like a Thanksgiving thing. I just want to be able to like watch old time cartoons with Jay, because I think it'd be kind of fun to do for a podcast. So that's something we're going to try and do next year to see if we can attempt it and hope it actually goes well. And then Christmas Palooza. So yeah. So basically the sum up of everything, we're going to be working on the banner for the channel, possibly the icon. We're going to be focusing more on TV shows instead of mostly movies. But we're still going to do movies, though, but mainly TV shows and anime. Along with trying to split up some of the segments into multiple parts. So that way, instead of just one big-ass video, we have a couple smaller ones. So that way, in case you want to watch multiple parts, we can do that. And then the last thing I am going to mention would be the Nostalgic November idea that I think we should try. Like, are you still okay with doing Nostalgic November?
Sure.
Because I think it'd be something fun we could do. Like, I could show you all the stuff I used to watch as a kid, and I could watch stuff that you used to watch as a kid. So I think it'd be a fun idea to do. And it's something I would like to try, because I really want to put some old-time cartoons on here to like, do podcasts on, because there's a lot I wouldn't mind covering with Jay. So yeah, that's basically it. But the last thing I will mention before we close out. So like last year, I made our entire season 1 of our podcast available by the end of the year. So that way you guys have the entire season 1 of the playlist. Since this is our second season of the podcast, we already have a playlist and stuff, but we aren't going to make it available until probably New Year's. So you guys will be getting a season 2 playlist for all our podcasts for this year. So be on the lookout for that. And I guess we're going to close the podcast. And do you have anything to say, honey, before I do the closing?
I hope next year is better.
Me
I'll
too.
be able to talk at it.
Yeah, I think next year, we're hoping next year's going to be a lot better, because this year's been kind of rough for both me and Jay. So we're hoping this upcoming year is going to be a lot better, which I hope it is. Please let it be good. Because honestly, we fucking need it at this point. COVID's just kind of like making everything like horrible. Not with us, but just in general. You know what I mean? Like, because me and Jay are good. We're both good. Right, honey? But yeah. So yeah, that's basically the end of our 2021 podcast, our season 2. Are you looking forward to season 3, honey? Mm-hmm. Me too. I'm looking forward for our season 3 of the podcast. We'll be taking a break for like about a week, maybe like a couple days. And then we'll start recording and posting stuff probably like the 2nd of January. How does that sound?
Okay.
Because we already do plan on posting the Smallfoot video, so that's already going to be posted by like the 2nd. And then we'll start watching Amphibia, and we'll give you guys the podcast for that, the first season. So be on the lookout for that coming up in the next like couple weeks. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday. And whether you are or not, I do hope that your year was all right. And if not, we're looking forward to next year. We're just hoping it's a lot better. We look forward to better and brighter things for next year. Right, honey? But yeah, thank you all for tuning in to our second season of the podcast and our second end of the year podcast. Thank you all for watching. And as always, I'm Mari.
Sure.
And we're out.